When I first started, like my real first shop, before I was selling out of my children's room in my mom's apartment, and it was on the ground floor, so skaters could come by and just knock on my window. And then me and a few friends moved into this apartment where we lived together and also had the shop in the front. And there we would watch this video Caught Clean from Laban Fadias, and this inspired us also to pick up juggling. So this is basically the video where my whole love for skateboard videos comes from, Skateboard Madness. And the second important video in my life is Future Primitive, Paul Peralta. And my first sponsor was American Sports, a skate shop here in Hamburg. And the owner took us home to his place, where we then all watched the movie together, and we went skating straight after, one of the best sessions. And then H Street, Shackle Me Not. This one of my all-time favorite videos still. I still like watching it. You know, Danny Way had the last part in it, and he was obviously ripping, and yeah, one of my favorite skaters of all time, for sure. Hensley, you know, so many legends in this video. I think I'm gonna watch it again tonight.
Aber hallo.
And here we have me on national television. This was a pre-internet time, so it was a pretty big thing, viewed by millions of people. And I made a little fun of the show host here and explained him what a bong ollie is.
Also das ist der sogenannte Bong Ollie. Da hat man hinten das Kicklock.
Ja, wie heißt der?
Bong Ollie.
Bong Ollie, ja.
Da hat man hinten so das Kicklock, dann tritt man da ganz doll rauf. Dann zieht man hier vorne ganz doll rein, dann lässt man los und dann fängt man an zu fliegen. So, dann schwebt man hoch.
Gut. Also wir haben das jetzt alle kapiert. Und bitte geht an den Start.
So I'm starting with actually my favorite era of stickers. This is the early 90s, the whole Rocco World Industries camp of stickers. And actually, Liberty, as you can see here or here, Todd Congiuleri was also kind of part of World Industries. And what really surprised me, one time, me and my friend were driving to Foundation, I think it was in 1994, and we saw Rocco come out of the parking lot with his Jeep. And we're like, what is Steve Rocco doing at Foundation? And then that was one of my moments when I realized that skateboard business inside is not necessarily how it looks from the outside. And then of course we have here the famous Mark Gonzalez sketching of the Blind Skateboards logo. This was actually the time when Blind Skateboards came out with the video days, and yeah, basically revolutionized the whole skateboard industry once again. Then we got some really cool Villele stickers here. Santa Monica Airlines, as you can see here, which is pretty funny because just recently Steve Rocco announced that he's going back to sidewalk distribution, and they took this logo and switched it to SWD. That was pretty funny. Got the Cat in the Hat, the Jimi Hendrix, Ron Chapman Experience, the Devil, the Gizmo Juniors, the Stickorama sticker pack, full sticker pack. That's pretty sick. A few people copied this idea, but this is the original one. The original Fucked Up Blind Kids collector's pack. Here we have a few of my favorite kind of skate shop and small company stickers. Ryan Monahan was on a tour through Germany with Aaron Dieter, and he was selling, like after he was skating the competitions, he was selling skateboard stuff to the kids at the competition. And I spoke with him about it, and he told me like, okay, look, listen, that's skate, and he showed the vert ramp, and this is work. So skate or work. And then he taught me how to kind of slang stickers to kids at competitions. So I used to have like a kind of a plastic bag, bigger, you know, but something like this. And then after the skate competitions, I would go to the crowd and I would sell them stickers. That's kind of how I financed my way to travel to the competitions in the beginning, before we really had sponsors who would pay for it. All right, we have here some classic 80s and into the 90s stuff. Nadas, Hosoi, Grosso, Klaus Krapke, a good friend of mine. When I was younger, I skated a little bit of vert, and I once wanted to skate in a competition. I was really young, maybe 12 years old, and I couldn't get in. It was like a heavy snake session. And then I remember Klaus went to the ramp and had everybody stop and said, hey, let this kid drop in. And that's how I got to get my first practice run. That was pretty sick. Then we have Julian Stranger here, of course, Santa Monica Airlines, Ripper, Trapboard with the Jimi Hendrix with the dead eyes, Ray Barbie, Paul Peralta. I really like the A1 Quality Meats stickers, and I think it was probably mainly because Matt Hansley skated for them. We were really into the brand. Then we got an E-Punkt sticker here. This was our first skate park that Thomas Friese made possible for us. I came to him with a dream of having a skate shop, a team, and a skate park. This was 1990, and he realized all those things with me within maybe 3 or 4 months. So that was really good times. Then we got one of my favorite skaters, Danny Way. I think this was his first H Street Pro board. Gotta have some Tony Alva in here. Alva Skateboards, Bill Danforth, very iconic skater. Now the Danny Way, the fucking Gruben, Fahrvergnügen, VW, Volkswagen graphic, Chris Livingston, really sick ripper. Hensley, of course, one of our all-time favorite skaters. Live Skateboards was pretty cool. They had Sean Sheffy on the team, and Live Skateboards, really nice video. Alfonso Wald sticker, I thought this was pretty cool. And then Sal Barbier, H Street, the Raiders logo, the NBA logo. He always had some really cool graphics. So this is what America feels like. Zero Sophisto. Yeah, he was always very... The PE logo from Jason Rogers, that was also really cool. The Gons, and these are actually the first stickers I ever made for my clothing brand before I started Trap. I called it Fatwear, and Russell Simmons actually from Fat Farm sued me, so I changed the name to Trap instead of starting a fight. And this was also one of my stickers that I made, just a classic screen print. And then I was in New York in '94, I think this was. And then I saw these cool mixtapes. And they only had 4 tapes and I think 4 t-shirts. And I got these shirts. And I contacted them about maybe distributing their brand. I always was interested in getting cool skate and streetwear, especially from the East Coast. Same with here you can see Andre the Giant. I did the distribution for Giant before it became Obey. And also this brand here called Half-Life, which was the clothing brand before it became iPath. I actually also skated for iPath a bit afterwards. And also East Coast legendary brand Rookie Skateboards, one of the first brands made by girls. Same as this one here, Villa Villa Cola, also made by girls. And then we got here Natural Concept. legendary brand from Hawaii, now run by my man Jay-Z from New York. And speaking of New York, here we have a nice little story. The brand Brooklyn Boards from New York City by Dan Zimmer. They had some really cool graphics. And I was on tour with them here through Europe. And then Dan Zimmer drew these pro boards here. And this was mine here, the Löffler, the white Nubian board. Jeremy Daclay had a pro board on Brooklyn Boards. Unfortunately, this never came out because the brand, Dan stopped doing the brand. Brooklyn Boards and Tri-State Project. Would have been rad to have that board out. And then we come to 97. This was actually my first skate shop called Samsara Skate Shop, which was way out in Barmbek. And then this was actually the flyer for our first skate jam. Basically the idea of what Go Skateboarding Day is now. And then here, this is pretty funny. This was a pro board I had on Dickies, also in the late 90s, the 4 Elements. This was my board here. I was the fire. One time my cellar got broken into and a lot of my classic t-shirts got stolen. Luckily my girl did this blog here. My boyfriend is a skater before all my shirts got stolen, so I can still check him out. For example, this one, this is Tri-State Project. This is a shirt that was also from Dan Zimmer, from Brooklyn Boards, was like a subdivision. Then we have here a Treefort Lumber Company. That was a pretty cool brand from the 80s. Some Crooks and Castles. After 9, the city's mine, one of our most favorite trap slogans. I have German magazines, obviously, which the Monster Skateboard magazine was the first I got my hands on. And later I was also featured. I had a few covers on the Monster magazine. We got the Bordstein magazine, the Kingpin magazine was kind of the first real good pan-European magazine. And Thrasher from the mid-80s, Limited magazine, Big Brothers. These are all Monster magazines. And TransWorld, of course. What do we got here? Slap. I loved Slap. Slap was really cool mag. Okay, so the Monster magazine was like our first legit skateboard magazine in Germany. Here are some of the early issues. Klaus in Prague. I went to that competition in '88. I was 13. It was still the Iron Curtain, as you call it, was still up in Prague. And we had a pretty rad trip there. I was 13 and we got kicked out at the border because my passport, the guys at the border didn't really like my passport. So we had to spend the night in the train station. Me and my friend Chris Heitmann, we were both 13 at the time, and we had to spend the night at the train station, sleeping on the floor, and then go back to Germany and then get like get a license and then travel to Prague. And that was definitely like a legendary tour and competition. Oh, check it out, American Sports. I got to add in here. That was my first sponsor, and they had a shop in Hamburg and in Kiel. And this was also the shop where I started working just as a student part-time. In the early 90s or even late 80s, when Rocco started all his brands, all of us were very stoked on what he was doing, and the Powell videos, which were kind of like the main videos before that, had become a little bit kind of almost like too high professionalized in the production view. Like the skating, you couldn't really hear the skating anymore. It was like toned afterwards, and you know, it just, like a video like Rubbish Heap from World Industries just kind of spoke more to us, the rawness of it. And then obviously he had a very good eye and of creating amazing talent around himself. So that led me and friends of mine also to start our own brands. It was basically Rocco inspired, you could say. That was kind of the spirit of the early 90s, kind of to do your own thing. And yeah, so I was interested also in the business aspect of skateboarding, and then I found these TransWorld business magazines, and I subscribed to them, and they kept sending me these issues like forever, until they went out of business or they stopped doing them. And yeah, I always thought they were pretty interesting with just the ads and the articles and everything. Like the war on blanks, you know, that's like a very American way of how to deal with the problem, you know. Just make a war on it, to try to solve whatever problem there is, or self-created problem. So yeah, I have all these mags here, and I think it's like a cool like time capsule to dig into if you want to see, you know, what was going on in skateboarding in October 2006, for example. You know, you could dig into it. They had interviews in there. Obviously the TransWorld video segment that they had going on, very good. Altamont advertisement. And then what else do we have here? The second Big Brother magazine. I don't have the cornflakes box, but I think I have most of the other ones. But this one's like separate because it's a different format. And big interview of Sal Rocco Jr., Steve's brother. Sean Sheffy's son. I think he's ripping too. Now showing Plan B video. Questionable. That was obviously like a milestone in our world when the Questionable video came out. Here's a limited magazine, skateboard magazine, which was run by Urban Supplies, Jörg Ludewig, and I just broke my board right before this, so this is actually one of my team riders, Puse, Sabrina Göggel's board, and it was a really nice weekend we had there in Frankfurt. The Dank magazine from Norway, they just released a few issues, but they were really stylish, just like the way that they did the layout and the lettering. And this kind of became then, if you look at it, a little bit the blueprint of a little bit how modern skateboard magazines, you know, are from the look and feel. TransWorld calendar from 1997, and you could tell like it was actually hanging on my wall, and I used it to highlight events and things on there. Italy, Messe Köln, Pyramide, Kunsthalle, Jam, geil. This is a legendary cover. Aaron Dieter in Williamsburg Banks, probably my favorite skate spot in Hamburg. And as a real hoarder, of course, I also hoard my skate spots. And A couple of years ago they wanted to tear this place down, so we started the Save Williamsburg initiative with the Instagram, and we also did a collaboration shoot with Vans and Trap Skateboards to bring awareness of this place, and luckily we managed to convince them to keep this spot kind of standing, so the main spots are still here. And yeah, check them out. We'll take a little turn. As you can see here, this used to be this still is a school, and but even during school days, you can usually come here and ride it, have a good session, have some good tricks. A lot of good stuff has been going down here. A lot of epic skate teams and skaters were here doing really good tricks. Most memorable is the Meg Twist from Dalton Dern. It took him just a few tries and he pulled it off. Usually, like when teams come to town, I take them to this spot here, and you should check it out when you're here. It's pretty close to town, and there's also, even nowadays, a skate park built pretty much across the street, which is a nice place to warm up. And I learned my first drop in here, actually, right there on the little bank, and then moved my way up. This was in the 80s, and yeah, I've been coming here ever since. Skateboard landmark of Hamburg, Williamsburg banks. Having a skate shop, I also always kind of really like odd shoes, like really strange ones. Like this, I think, is a Louis Barletta Osiris shoe. Kind of weird. And then we got here some Supras, some I don't know, are these Lizard Kings or something? I'm not sure, but they had some really weird texture to it. And then I used to skate for iPath, so I got some box ready Met Fields here, old Vans. I got some Catkins from iPath, another Met Field with the herringbone pattern, pretty sick. The Matt Rodriguez skate shoe, pretty fresh. I heard iPath is gonna have a revival sometime. Then check out these Supras with like a detachable lace. Some cats, really like the cat. Camouflage and some nice padding. Another catkin. And then here we have the cat and corduroy, pretty unique shoe. The winter edition, as you can see, I actually skated these for a while. Actually worked pretty good. Catkin black, really sweet. And what do we have here? Look at these ones. The Nick Knatterton version. Pretty sick. All right, we're starting off my board collection with Christian Hosoi Hammerhead board. My first favorite pro skater, the first pro skater that I looked up to. Really beautiful board, and I just loved the way that when you watched Hosoi skate, you could dream of that anything is possible and you can do anything the way you want to do it. And we got the Tommy G board here, Paul Peralta, Flaming Sword. And he signed it here when he did a concert with Blacktop Project here in my shop. Played for about 4 hours. Was a great night. Always like to remember that. Shout out to Tommy for doing this. Gotta have a Mark Gonzalez, of course. Vision board. All these boards I skated myself also. Not these ones, but the exact same models. We got a Jason Jesse Sun God, also legendary board. Santa Cruz. Skull Skates was one of the more underground brands, not so well known, but a friend of mine here, Robert Wolf from Hamburg, he skated for them. Karmat Soshev from Dogtown Skates, also a brand I always liked, and really nice board. Skated with him a couple of times when he was here with the Vans tour. Søren Abi, Danish skater, also iconic board. And then Loisy Skate Design LSD, obviously the thematic graphics to the name. Airborne, also a pretty small underground brand, but made a nice impact. And then we got a Per Welinder from Sweden. Yeah, been seen him in Paul videos, and now he's actually a friend of mine. And this is one of the iconic boards from him. A lot of people actually have this tattooed on their body somewhere. The Art Godoy board, H Street, Shackle Me Not, one of my favorite videos. He and his brother were there, fully tattooed skaters. Epic board, Ray Rodriguez. Don't really know too much about the rider or the brand, but I thought it kind of looked cool. And then Lester Kasai, very interesting shape. And then we got another Hosoi board here, really beautiful, cool shape. I think this is a mini again. And we're finishing off with another Skull Skates, Ray Hoover, really crazy concave. Look at that. Look at that, kind of a double concave, concave in the tail, extra concave in the nose. Be water. We got the Jerkin Jordan from the Fucked Up Blind Kids series. Yeah, I always liked this series, especially, I mean, all the blind graphics, early days, amazing. We got the Jason Lee, David Bowie dedication board. Just one of the best board graphics ever, I would think. The Nadas Patriot. Obviously, I was a big fan of Nadas, probably like everybody else. Really rad shape, cool board. We got the Ron Chapman, World Industries, also not so often seen board. Todo Igual Jason Lee board from Blue Skateboards. Was just out for a while, the brand, not that long. We got Nicky Guerrero, the Blue Dragon Paul board. They had a kind of a special slick kind of board and kind of mud graphic that was out for a while. Rune Glifberg, like the Carlsberg logo from Deathbox. Deathbox was the brand before Flip came out, and they came to Hamburg a lot of times, the whole Deathbox crew, alongside with when Flip came out. I think they were running both brands at the same time for a while, and we skated a lot with them. Rolly, Shipman, Penny, Andy Scott. Always enjoyed having them over. Liberty Mike Smith. Liberty was a cool brand. I liked it. Then we got here, I think this is a Milk Skateboards. Not sure whose model this is, but also nice shape. Then we got a Zorlak Scott Stanton. with some little political message on there. And the TV board, 1992, signed by Mike. Pretty simple, but still cool graphic. Board series we did with Trap Skateboards. This is an official collaboration that was also sold in the Bauhaus Museum and featured in Vogue magazine. It was only made 100 each, numbered, lasered, and turned out really nice. Each individual top graphic and stained veneers so that you can still see the pattern of the wood. I never really saw myself as a collector of some sorts, but maybe I am. But maybe it's more like a hoarder than a collector, you know.